And welcome back. I've been away for a bit too long. I was on leave and a lot of that, but you probably don't care. We're here to talk about the X-Summit event for September, which is basically it just ended. I haven't had a chance to see anything else on YouTube, and we already knew what part of what was going to be announced thanks to the work done by Fuji Rumors, which sometimes, Patrick, you spoil the pleasure to assist to an event like that. You do too much of a good job. But thank you. Please keep doing that. There's no surprise. One thing that I realized talking about the X-Summit event is that finally they are starting to move forward with something a little bit more dynamic and a little bit less funeral type. So I was really happy with a better overall outcome of the event, although it's still a bit dark and it's still a little bit too probably Japanese, although I mean Fuji is Japanese, just it is what it is. But let's talk about the products. Of course, I haven't tried any of them. We knew we were going to get the XH2. We hoped we were going to know something more about the X-T5, but we didn't. We knew we were going to have the 56 Mark II, the 56mm Mark II, and we probably knew also that we were going to get the 22-35 millimeters for the GF system. We didn't know, at least I haven't checked the latest rumors, but we didn't know that they were going to be doing the one more thing, in this case the two more things, which is the two tilt-and-shift lenses for the GF system, which is really important for them to have, 30 millimeters and 110 millimeters, so two very different focal lengths. And so let's start with the XH2. They've been, after the initial presentation, bragging about the results for the XH2S and the 150 to 600, they started focusing on the XH2. And they kept stressing on the power. They basically they tried to match XH2S with speed and XH2 with power, and they kept stressing that word over and over and over and over again. They wanted to. That was their main focus when they were trying to communicate to the people. And they stressed about the resolution. They stressed about the fact that this is power beyond the limit of the APS-C format, which again, it's debatable, but they were proud about having the highest resolution sensor in the APS-C market to date. And then they started coming up with the details. Again, highest resolution APS-C, the 40 megapixel. They mentioned like life in detail. Of course, they were focusing on detail, and they mixed both photo specs with video specs. They started with the 40 megapixel count, but then they immediately translated that into 8K video. And also we have 8K 30 FPS with 422 10-bit internal compression, which is great. Of course, we need to see whether the camera is going to overheat or not. There's a lot of stuff. I haven't seen any of the first impression reviews that already popped up. I saw a lot of notification from YouTube. I'll watch them later. But I assume it's going to be working the same way the XH2S does, and it's going to be probably need the fan not to overheat when shooting with the highest with the highest resolution setting for extended period of time. Again, I'm just assuming. I don't know. We will know soon. They came up with a huge and they also told us that the camera can shoot 8K RAW in 12-bit with an external recorder, as much like basically the same thing that the Fuji X-H2S does, although in 6K due to the lower resolution. And then they started talking about the details. They facilitator, the presenter, stood on a 48 square meter picture, 8 meter by 6 meter, and he kept telling us how good the detail were. Of course, we couldn't see that, but we just have to assume he was not lying to us. And they immediately moved forward and went to the pixel shift technology, which is going to be achievable with the electronic shutter only, and it's going to combine 20 files into a 1 DNG raw format worth 160 megapixel file. Of course, there is probably going to be for very specific use. They themselves kind of limited that for what concerns commercial and archive photography. Probably this is not going to work perfectly when it comes to moving subjects like, I don't know, waterfalls and stuff like that. We'll see. There's going to be plenty of tests from now on. They told us that the base ISO is going to be 125. Sorry, I'm reading the notes that I made because I cannot remember everything. The base ISO is going to be 125. It's going to extend down to 64. They didn't tell us how much it's going to extend up, but the expectation is that it's going to go a notch less than the maximum that you can get on the 26 megapixel cameras, since everything is shifted a third of a stop lower, and so that means 10,000, I guess 10,000 ISO, and then the extension goes to one third stop less than 25,600, and then one third less than 51,200. Again, assumptions, I don't know. And they also stressed that the camera has a better signal to noise ratio. Although I think they messed up in the graph that they showed. They messed up the XHS sensor and XH2R sensor. I don't know. I have to watch it again just to make sure. And they also confirmed the 180,000th of a second shutter speed, which is pretty impressive, especially because that means you can freeze subjects in ways that were not possible before, at least in Fuji cameras. I don't know what we have in other cameras from other brands, but again, power. The body is the same as the XH2, so that's the XH2S. So, but we expected. So we have one compact flash, one CF Express Type B, and one SD. We have the same dial layout, the same viewfinder, same screen, same everything, same weather sealing and all of that, and same autofocus, same processor, same everything again. The camera is going to be already available at the end of September for $1,999. So $2,000. I guess in euros this is going to translate in, at least in Italy, $2,100, $2,200 around euros, around that. And then they started talking about lenses. Of course, they bragged about the capabilities of the lenses that were already presented, the 18, the 23, and the 33 f1.4 from the new breed of lenses. You know I have the 18. My 18 is back. I'm waiting for the XT4 to come back from repair, and then I'm going to wrap a video talking about my experience with that. I'm recording with the 18 millimeters, and I can agree those lenses are great. I have two of them, the 8 and the 18 and the 33. And then they presented the new 56 millimeters, which they didn't speak too much about size. And I guess size went up a little bit compared to the previous one, as well as weight. I think they didn't stress that because it was a little bit worse than the other. But they also stressed that the new lens has a heavier focusing group for a faster autofocus, better overall result, and they also stressed the challenges that they had to make when it comes to giving the sharpness that they wanted together with the a better bokeh compared to what it was before. And so they stressed the fact that they had to overcome these challenges to get a very sharp lens in the areas that are in focus, and at the same time having a smooth bokeh for the areas that are not in focus. Of course, we have to see other videos. I am interested in the lens. I don't know if I'm gonna buy it or not, but I'm really interested. We'll see the reviews. They're gonna be there before I can. Right now, they're already out. We'll see those. And also, they mentioned that the minimum focusing distance was narrowed down to 50 centimeters, which is something that a lot of photographers using the 56, me included, have been requesting for years, because the previous focusing distance was a little bit limiting if you wanted to get a little bit more in details. Considering the quality of the lenses they already produced, the new breed of lenses, I assume this new lens is going to be as spectacular as the others. We'll see. The price, I was scared that the price was going to go up a lot. It didn't. It's still $1,000, so it's doable. I'm not saying affordable, because $1,000, it's not affordable. With prices going up since a year ago for everything, $1,000 for a brand new lens doesn't seem too much. So I'm pretty happy with that. And then they moved into the GFX. And the availability is at the end of September as well. They then moved to the GFX system. They started talking about the Global Grant Projects Award for 2021 and the new projects that are going to be accepted for 2022. They are really pushing that, because they see great value in what the industry, what people can do with that in mind. And then started presenting the new product, which is basically the 20 to 35 millimeter f4 super wide angle zoom lens for the GFX system, which is, again, they continued focusing on details. We could call this event Fuji X-Summit Details Event September 2022. The lens is not too big and it's not too heavy. 725 grams is not too much for a medium format lens. And the filter size is 82 millimeters, so it's shared with a lot of other lenses in the GFX lineup. The price is going to be pretty steep, but that is all the GFX lenses. It's going to be $2,500 if I'm not wrong. And then they moved to the New York Talk Live with a lot of photographers telling how great the system is, what the XH2S and the XH2, the details, the lenses and all that. Of course, this is more promotional than anything else. They accepted, I guess, some comments from the chat. I asked one thing which I thought they should have mentioned, which is knowing whether this pixel shift technology is going to come to the XH2S or not, because to me it is doable. It's about whether they want to do it or not, and they didn't answer that. They answered to other questions. I didn't check all of the questions, so I don't know if those were fake questions or not. Doesn't really matter. And then they went to the some other questions from the photographers over there. What do you want? What would you like? A funny moment where one of the photographers was saying that previously the autofocus was not great and the clutch in the previous 23 millimeters was not that good. People laughed, but it's normal. I mean, it's one of those things where you probably wouldn't want to hear that, but they said it. That's life, baby. And then the two more things, the two lenses that they're developing for the two Tilt&Shift lenses that they're developing on the GFX system. Conclusions. They also mentioned that they're going to have the Fujikina event in New York soon after this. I don't remember the dates. For those lucky people that are in New York, you can definitely go there. We shall see. I am interested in the XH2 for two reasons. When the X-T4 comes back, I will need to decide whether I want to keep like old style type of body and one modern body, or if I want to sell the X-T4 and get an XH2, just because I don't want to go crazy about the button layout. We will talk about that in the review, which is gonna come up soon. I plan for next week to release a video specific on autofocusing on the XH2S, and then the review. And so I'm debating with myself whether I should upgrade to the XH2 just not to think about the button layout anymore, or trying to understand if I can live with a completely different button layout. We'll see. I haven't decided yet. I'm not ready to fork that much money yet. And I'm debating whether I have to pick the 56 or not, because I had the previous one for a long time. I loved it. Then I sold it because I wasn't using it that much. I plan on shooting portrait a lot more than I did in the past, but I haven't started yet. So I need to make, since I'm buying lenses, Fuji's not sending me anything, I need to pick and choose where I want to spend my money. And so we'll see. We'll see. It seems Fuji is really focused on listening to customers. That's what I got from the whole thing. It seems like they've been listening to customers. I really hope that some of the things can come to the XH2S, like again the pixel shift. And I hope that the fact that the XH2S is a stacked sensor doesn't make too much of a difference when it comes to the autofocusing capabilities of the XH2, which is not stacked. We'll see. I guess that's it for now. I'll see you next week, hopefully. And that's it. Bye for now, and thank you again. Bye-bye.